Hello. It's Sunday. Sunday. Sorry. If you're not from the US, you won't know what in the world that is. That is a thing they used to do on commercials for events. How are ya? What's going on? I'm a minute early even. And my sound works. Thank you. I don't want to brag, but I've been ready for half an hour. And John's sweater is one button band and knit on collar from being finished. And he tried it on yesterday and he saw himself in the bathroom mirror and he goes, I love it. He's never done that before. Hello? What's going on? Laura said good morning. Oh, hang on. I gotta turn this off, guys. My sound. Whoops. How are you? How's the weather there? It is so nice here. Margarita said, oh, good, Margarita. Margarita said, hi, I hope you guys had a good week. I'm feeling so much better today. She has been sick. Oh, Susie, you're doing fall cleaning. You're so good. Elizabeth said, hey, Dino, where have you been? Hey, Rowena and Misty, how are you guys? How is everybody? Oh, gosh, Susie said it's chilly. We're in the 50s right now. Susie, are you in Cody? I can't remember exactly where you are. You don't have to tell me, but I got a question for someone who's like a local-ish. You're not in Cody, are you? Anyway, hello. Here's my question. So a fiber seller posted on one of the for sale groups that she had merino from a flock, and she said it was in Cody. Okay, maybe you'll know what this is. She said the flock was in Cody. She said it was owned by a famous couple who is divorcing. Who owns that flock? She didn't say, but she acted like her description would make it so everyone just knew who she was talking about, and I have no idea. The only person that I know that owns like a ranch I know of that owns a ranch in Wyoming, I think is in Casper and doesn't have sheep. How is everybody? Eileen and Jerry, hello. Also, I'm just really nosy, I guess. Laura said it was 67 when she got up celebrating. She said heading to 101 today. My goodness. Well, maybe that's them, Susie. I don't know. I mean, they're already divorced, aren't they? They must be. Maybe not. Whatever. I feel nice, Risa. I sat outside spinning and this morning, because it's really nice here, it's like maybe mid-70s and sunny, and I finished the singles of the Camel Down already. I know, I'm feeling like I'm just really kicking some butt lately. I'm just not watching TV. That's what's happening. Tracy said, I am enjoying a rainy morning. Nice. Hey, Deanna and Jerup. Well, I don't know what time it is there, but I know it's early. Susie said, I don't think it's them. Harrison Ford lives in Jackson. Do you think they have sheep? Kelly said, sitting in the urgent care waiting on my mom. Oh no, Kelly. She said, at least I can join in here while I wait on her. Is she all right? I hope she's okay. Billy said, hi all. Hope everyone is having a great day. Hope you are. Thank you, Risa. I appreciate that. Am I quiet? Is it quiet, you guys? Darn this stupid microphone. I'm going to put it closer. Wait, I'm going to wait until some more people answer. Kim said, hi all. I tried color work. I didn't carry my floats long enough and my hat didn't fit. You know what, Kim? That's very common the first time. Frogged it to the band. Sigh. Eighth start to get it right. I'm sorry. Elizabeth sounds okay for her. Oh, Kelly said it's a toe infection. Well, I hope she gets what she needs to feel better. That's really sad. That must be awful. Is it hard to walk? I hope she's okay. Um, Victoria said knitting my first even dune cardigan. I don't know that pattern. I'll have to look it up. Kelly said, Kim, yeah, it can be hard to make the floats long enough. It can. Okay, Susie. Okay. Susie said lives. That's the only person I know of. Is Jeffree Star and his yaks. Have you met him? His pronouns are he, him, right? I think. I'm pretty sure. It's quiet for Anne, but Elizabeth said it's good. You guys, I don't know what to do about that. Crystal said I sound like I'm in a barrel. I bet I know why. Just a minute. Oh shoot, hang on. Is that better? Victoria said finish the Carbeth cat cardigan, but is it that's better? Weird. I don't understand. That is even weirder what I just changed, you guys. How could it be better for some of you but not all of you? I am confused. I can't figure this out. I don't think I changed anything. Is that better? How's that? Kelly said it sounds okay to her. That's so weird. I don't know, you guys. I don't know what it is because I don't think I changed it and it didn't disconnect itself this time. Weird. I don't get it. Jerry said that's better. I mean, I can move it closer, but I don't know if that'll help. Okay, Elizabeth said, weird. She said, I started a pair of socks for my mom for Christmas, DRK every day, using the heritage yarn you used for the last pair of socks you made, but a different colorway. It's not, they're not done. Uh-oh. Kim said I froze. Okay, the sound thing is like making me sweaty. Crystal said, I know maybe I'm going to move this. I'm going to move it a little closer and then we'll see how if that does any. I don't think it's going to stop making it echo or whatever. Okay. I missed a question. I know I did. Hello, Dawn. Crystal said, I know I'm on a slowly failing laptop. No, I'm sure it's not, Crystal. I'm sure it is something with me, but I don't. Some people are fine and some aren't, so I don't know. I know Elizabeth said, you guys are funny. Eileen said, hi, Kim, not backwards. You will knit in the same direction. If you turn your hat inside out, most of your hat will be between you and where you are knitting right to left. I do the same. That's how I do it. In fact, there is a video out there on my channel about knitting it inside out. What happens is you actually are knitting along the back and the front is like hanging towards you. I don't get it. Drup said the sound is still okay. Hello, Shetland Spinner. How are you? How is everybody? Honestly. Lisa said, oh, there's Shetland Spinner. Again, are you Shetland? Kim said, I am knitting in the round. The pattern calls for repeat 6 times. Of course, have to be special. I only want 1 instead of 6. Well then, Kim, that might be challenging to float the yarn all the way around the rest. Hello, Catherine said happy Sunday. Hello. Happy Sunday to you. Mel's going to Costco. What is the rule? Is there no Costco shopping on Sundays? No shopping on Sundays? What's the rule? No going to Costco with your husband? You need to leave him home. I understand. We have to do an errand after this too. Dawn said, I finally worked up the courage, all right, to cast on a sock and try to learn to knit socks. I'm going to give it a try. I don't know how it will end up. Not everybody's first one is super fun. So, but they do get better. Laura said, I've just recently come into spinning, weaving stuff. What does colorway mean? So, Laura, colorway means not just the color, it couldn't be just one color, but also all the colors that are in one yarn or one project or whatever, like the collection of colors. And sometimes if it's meaning yarn, it can also mean the spacing of the color, sort of. Lisa said, crossing everything for you, Dawn. Crystal said, jacquard floats on the back will help long floats. They will, and you might love them. I actually really like them. Kim said, it has been. I learned how to float your yarn. I just didn't leave enough space. Another thing you can do is kind of like pull the stitches apart when you have a float. Like before you catch the float, pull the stitches apart. I don't know how to explain that, but I think I actually said that in the video too. Sorry, you guys, I missed a stitch. I gotta fix it. Mel's rule is never to go to Costco on the weekend. That's probably a really smart rule. It wouldn't be, we don't even have one. We only have a Sam's Club. Tracy, first sock club. I love it. She said, hi, Dawn. I'm working on my first sock, too. Victoria said, after 20 years of knitting for my shop, I have finally quit and now can knit for myself. So liberating. Did you own a shop, Victoria? Did you work at a shop? Eileen said, thanks for explaining, Trish. Sounds much better. I'm on a tablet, so sound cannot go higher. I guess if you watch on television, you have more options to turn sound up louder. All good now. Okay. No, that's good. I will play around with the settings and try and fix it for next time. Kind of weird that some people are fine and some aren't. I don't get it. Dawn said it will be fine in the end. Just don't give up. I agree with that 100%. It may be a step on your success journey that doesn't look like success. They happen. Crystal said, don't overthink the heel. Just follow the heel pattern. That is the best advice I got for you. I like it. Hey, Tracy. Kelly said, I pull a loop out on the float just to be sure. I have done that before. Hey, Fiber Witch. Kim said, tried pulling the stitches. I had to buy end stoppers because I kept pulling off the stitches. I got it. Okay. Try the other thing. Try it inside out like Eileen suggested, because that really helps me, and I had that problem with my floats. So Linda said, hello all. My daughter and I are on our way home from a fiber festival in Lacombe, Alberta. I purchased 3 raw fleeces. Can't wait to get home and start scouring. That's really exciting. We're starting to think about Rhinebeck already. It's not that far away. It's less than a month. Dawn said, thanks everyone. I'm using DPNs for the first time. Could be interesting. Well, you know, Dawn, what are you afraid of on that part? the DPNs. Victoria said it had an Etsy shop and did art fairs. Okay. Wow, so you sold knitted stuff in your shop. I'm always curious about that. Hey, Chris. Lisa said, hi, Linda. What kind of sheep? We do need to know that, Linda. Important info. Hey, Melody. Crystal said, so I did my first bind off. And hey, Chris. Did I say hi to Chris already? I can't remember. Crystal said, so I did my first bind off of that sweater, dropped a stitch clear in the beginning. Can you just catch it, like with the yarn, and then pull the two ends, like take a piece of the yarn, catch the stitch, pull them to the back, and then weave them in? I've done it. Not gonna lie. Kim said, when I learned how to do a sock, I did it first in worsted yarn so I could get the hang of it before I switched to tiny needles. I did that as well. I probably knit a couple pairs of socks in worsted first. Terry said, morning all, I just got my first washcloths out of the dryer. They are not perfect, but we'll post pics to Facebook. Awesome. I love it when people are trying new stuff. That makes me so happy. I don't know why. Why does that make me so happy? Because everybody's like conquering their fears and their, I don't know, whatever holds us back. Kim said, Dawn, I hope you had better luck than I did with DPNs. I kept poking myself. Eileen said, I'm having lots of fun with natural dye experiments. I saw the pictures on Facebook. She said, today I was trying apple leaves, some random fungi I cut off a tree, acorns, marjoram I picked in the park, and some unidentified yellow flowers. So cool. Shannon said, happy Sunday. RC and I are skirting fleece in the yard. You know what, Shannon? I was watching your Instagram video today cutting off the towels, and I was thinking, wonder how RC's doing. Seriously was. Kelly said, I will someday make it to a big fiber fest, but next year my Zoom knitting group is meeting up in person in Maine, so that's the next big trip. That sounds so cool. Dawn said, not being able to keep them straight and whatever else can go wrong. So you're only knitting on 2 needles at any given time, and where you pick up is where the yarn, the working yarn, is hanging off, so you won't mess it up. You just might have to look at it and say, like, where was I? And then before long, it'll be second nature. Eileen said, oops, Crystal, I hope you managed to salvage that stitch. Yeah. Amber said, hello, everyone. Any suggestions on how many stitches to cast on for newborn socks? Sock weight yarn, size 1 needles. I would like to know this as well, since I'm going to knit for a grandchild soon. Like, soon. Bree said, jealous Kelly, Maine might be my favorite place on earth. We were going to go this year, and we're not going to be able to. We'll still do it soon, though. Our original plan was to go there for, like, 5 days before Rhinebeck, but we just can't squeeze the time out. Crystal said, I'm not happy with how the bind off looks, so I'll be ripping back and trying it again. This is not the first time I have done this on a project. You mean found a drop stitch after you bound off? I mean, I think I've knit 1 or 2 lace projects where I didn't find some crazy thing that I messed up when I was all done and blocking it. Like, during the blocking process, I'll find somewhere where I dropped a stitch or whatever. Most annoying thing ever. Jerup said, lovely Eileen, spring is here and I'm planning my dye garden. I've actually been thinking about the fact that you guys would be going into spring. Kelly said, Bree, I've never been, so it should be a fun week. Bree said, just did North Country Fiber Fest this weekend and managed to not buy any fiber. Wow. Just some gummy bear stitch markers and a project bag. I am impressed. Brenda said, I am almost done knitting the underwing mitts, the colorwork mitts that have the moths on the front. I have seen those. Cool. Brenda, did you post a picture? Lisa said, Jerup, that is amazing to think it's spring. Just ordered my seed potato for next spring, but that is a long way off for us. Chris said, I tried to learn a simple garter stitch scarf, but Started with 35 stitches, and after 3 rows I had 50. I undid it and started over 4 times, and the same thing happens every time. That is very common, adding stitches. I mean, I have some guesses. Crystal said horrible looking bind off is common for me. Oh, so it's the bind off you mean that you don't like. Maybe it's just maybe a different technique would be better. Crystal said for newborn socks, I knit a gauge swatch and get the stitches per inch, then look up a chart on foot sizes for newborns. Okay, good idea. Catherine said for newborn socks, I just looked up the size for standard newborn socks and used my gauge to figure out how many stitches. There you go, kind of the same thing. All rib socks help too, yes. I'm kind of waiting to hear if they find out if it's a boy or a girl before I start knitting. They haven't fully decided to find out, so I'm just sort of kind of waiting until they say either they're going to or they're not. Drew said, Lisa, we have just come through our coldest winter since the 40s. Climate change be weird. Elizabeth said, oh, Chris, that is hilarious in a super relatable way. It really is. Dawn said 3 weeks from today, and I get to pick up my standard poodle puppy. How fun. I'm so happy but tired of waiting. I'm over the moon. She's black with white on 3 of her feet. Puppies are so much fun and a lot of work. I hope you're ready. I'm sure you've done it before. Kelly said, Chris, my first scarf did the same thing. See, I think it's really common. Mel said, my mother-in-law was at North Country. Is that in Minnesota? The North Country Fiber Fair? I don't know why I can't say it. Margarita said, Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Fest starts Thursday. I haven't decided if I should go or not. What is your self-control like, Margarita? And it probably kind of depends on how you feel, right? Bree said, me too. I finally hit the point where I can't justify adding to stash without a plan for the yarn fiber. Wonder if I'll ever hit that point. Don't know. Carolyn said, hello, I'm washing fleece today. Yay. I probably should be too. I know I should be. We got to run an errand after this. Maybe I'll wash some fleece. I have guilt. Yeah, Elizabeth said, yay for puppy love. Lisa said, Bree, we can never justify more wool. It just finds its way into baskets. That is the truth. I don't even really think about it. Lisa said, hey, Carolyn, been washing here too. Jacob and Chivi, you? Oh, Watertown, South Dakota. Okay. Hey, Melanie, how are you? Oh, Coopworth BFL Cross. That sounds really nice. Chris said, the issue I have is I don't know what I'm doing to add stitches, so I can't figure out how to stop doing it. So I'll be honest with you, Chris. One of the things that I've seen people do a lot is either lift the bar up between their stitches and knit that when it's not actually a stitch. But I've also seen people accidentally bring their yarn over the needle when they don't need to and make a loop on their needle, and then the next time they come around they knit it thinking it's a stitch. So it might help to really make sure you keep your yarn to the back all the time, because if it's garter stitch you're probably only knitting. Yeah, if you can post some pictures, I was going to say, or a video would be even better of you knitting so we can tell. Hey, Rita. Jerry said, Chris, be careful with your first stitch. If the yarn is in the back, it will look like a C. That's what I'm talking about. A stitch to knit. Make sure your working yarn is in the front before you start. Okay. Front. Yes, you'd wrap, because that would wrap your needle. Lisa said, Chris would love to help. Yep. I already read that one. Drew said, I warped up my rigid head of loom for a wide scarf with a lace weight bamboo. A trans-seasonal scarf that will feature bands of the wool I spun and dyed in the last 6 weeks. That sounds really, really cool. So, lace weight bamboo. Are you worried about fragility? Because I would be. And I'd used lace weight once and I snapped it like a million times. So I'm curious. Please tell us how it goes. Oh, Carolyn says she is the fleece. She is cool. She's loving it so far. Anne said, Chris, it's probably an accidental yarn over. That's what I think it probably is too. Nyla said, going to SAF in October. Any advice on buying first fleece? I do have some advice as it happens. Okay, so when you, let's see, do I have anything to use for a sample? When you are looking at fleeces, okay, one thing is get in there because a lot of times they will put a really pretty part of the cut part on the top. So kind of try to gently look and see how much vegetable matter is really in there. And take one lock out and pull it between your fingers. And when I say a lock, I mean like less than an inch of fiber in any given direction. Pull it in both directions because that will help tell you if there's any weak spots on your wool. And then, oh gosh, is that the main stuff? How dirty it is and how sound it is are kind of my main things for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You'll probably find really, really nice ones at SAF because I have found that shepherds tend to bring or send their like nicest fleeces to bigger festival-y kind of things. So you'll probably find a lot of really nice ones. Elizabeth said, oh, I finally finished that greasy, super dirty Jacob bat, but it got it washed and thoroughly cleaned my electric eel wheel. Did it get it dirty? She said, I'll post pictures in the group later. Please do, Elizabeth. I want to see. Lisa said, Nyla, my experience is that you need experience. You need to get it wrong a few times to learn how it feels. Just go for it. Rita said, Nyla, is that the same one in Asheville? It is, Rita. Jurup said, the bamboo is very strong. Good. I doubt it will snap. Okay, good. I had a hard time with it. But I did not use bamboo. So that could very well be my problem. Anne said, oh, cool. She said, I got an antique yarn weasel yesterday. It is so cool. It's so easy to make a hank. Does it pop? For real. Eileen said, hey, fiber lovers, please don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps Trish. It does help me. I do appreciate it when you guys can do it. Oh, gosh. Okay. I think everybody's going to have an opinion about this, Nyla. Nyla asked, any particular breed of sheep best for first fleece? I'm going to give you a couple that I think are good, but they're by no means a complete, it's okay, Eileen, a complete list. I think Romney's really good for a beginner because you don't, generally, the grease melts off very easily. I think Jacob's pretty good for a beginner. I'm trying to think what else I would say. Like a Coopworth would be good for a beginner. Anybody else have suggestions? Shetland is kind of hit or miss. There is such a big variation. Okay. Brenda said, when I raise the shafts on my floor loom, some of them raise at slightly different heights. Is this okay or will it cause tension problems? I haven't warped it yet because of this. Help, please. Can you adjust it, Brenda? I do like to adjust mine so they're all basically the same. But it depends on what the variation is. But it shouldn't mess with your tension. What it might mess with is how your sheds look. You'll have like what's the word? It's like a steps in your shed. I just had to adjust that on my own loom, Brenda. That's why I'm telling you. Anne said, yes, it pops. How often does it pop, Anne? Do you know? I'm very nosy and I want to know. I've looked at them many times, but I really don't want um, like one more thing in my studio right now. I feel cramped already. Lisa said, just been reading old article from Ply Magazine about how wonderful Blueface Leicester is better than Merino. I think it just kind of depends on what you want. You know, whether it's better. Did you guys see that? There's a little bug in here. Rita said I did Rambouillet. Was that was your first one, right, Rita? That was brave. Julie said, hi, gang. Been listening while cleaning up after overfilling apples for applesauce in my, oh no, in my pressure cooker. Was it on the, oh, she said it didn't explode, but blew sauce through valve all over kitchen. Afraid to look at ceiling. I was just going to ask if it was on the ceiling. I've gotten stuff on my ceiling before. That's why I asked. Elizabeth said, yes, had to use compressed air to blow the dirt out of nook and cranny inside and out. It was awful how dirty it was. The yarn looks great now. It's amazing. I feel like that is one of the most magical parts of the whole thing, is that it might be that you have to do special stuff and annoying stuff and extra work, but when you turn out something really awesome from this dirty, smelly fleece, that is so cool. Right? Hey, Sandra. Hello. She said, hello, tribe, working on a quilt as I listen. Kelly said, not Merino or Rambouillet. Lisa said, oh man, Julie. Elizabeth said, BFL is by far my favorite of all the wool I've tried so far. I do really like it, but I don't know if it's better. It's just better at its own things, you know? Eileen said, that's interesting, Lisa. Would love to read that, but doesn't it depend on what you use the wool for? BFL soft and strong, but I kind of like my merino underwear. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Oh, Julie said, thanks, Lisa. Plenty of apples in these parts. She is not kidding. Jen said, hello, Fiber Tribe. Besides what Trish said, I take the staple sample horizontal and rub it on my upper lip. Oh, I've never done that. See how soft it is. One time we got asked if we were tasting it. Of course we said yes. Definitely say yes. Bree said, I agree, Elizabeth. Def, my favorite to spin. Love about anything, but if I look for specific, it's always BFL, not necessarily in fleece, though. I feel like the fleeces are kind of difficult unless you have combs. Lisa said the article said that 24 of 25 people preferred the feel of BFL cowl compared to merino. Interesting. I do think it pills less. So that's a nice thing. But Rita said, no, it didn't fell. I just got some Neps carding. Yeah, I'm now spinning from Cloud. Nice. Jennifer, sorry, said I'm a newbie spinner and I'm totally over spinning my yarn. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. What are the problems you're having, Jennifer? You have some experts here. Tracy said I did that with plums in the pressure cooker. It was a disaster. Eileen said, oh, Julie, that sucks. Did make me laugh, though, but feeling sorry all the same. Kim said, I once forgot I was hard-boiling eggs, and the pot went dry and the eggs exploded. At least they didn't go all over. They would have been cooked, right? Lisa asked the same question. Kim said the eggs were everywhere. Brenda said, okay, I tried adjusting the tie-ups. They are all the same length. Any other things to try? Maybe I could make sure they all have equal amount of heddles on them. Can you adjust them from above? Is it a jack loom? Or, like, does it raise up? On mine, you push down on the treadles, but the shafts go up. So I had to adjust above the length of what pulls them up. Does that make sense? Tracy said, Jennifer, I had the same issue in the beginning. With practice, it got better as I got better at drafting and increased the uptake a bit. Julie said, good, Eileen. We gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at that stuff. Crystal asked, Jennifer, are you using a drop spindle or spinning wheel? Lisa said, Jennifer, you need to count. Depending on staple length, you need about 1 treadle to each inch of draft on a big whirl. Jennifer said, Eileen, when I took my first spin off the Nitty Naughty, it was kinkier than my hair. Okay, that means you're going faster than you need to, probably. Yep. So also, one thing I've heard people say is like sing a little song to yourself to keep your foot from treadling too fast. You can pre-draft. That will make it so that you can draft a little more quickly. So there is actually a lot of stuff you can do if you're getting a little bit too much twist. Jerup said there are about 14 million merinos in my state. I'm kind of biased, but yeah, probably not the best fleece for your first fleece. Anne said mine makes 2-yard hanks. That's what I have on my, that's what I do with my, what do you call it? Whatever, Swift, and I like that. There's a pin on a cog that pops with every 28 revolutions. 7 pops equals 408 yards. This one has a 4% buffer. Different weasels. That's why I was wondering how often yours popped. Jennifer said, Crystal, a spinning wheel. I do better with my drop spindle, but just started working with a spinning wheel in the past month. Jennifer said, thank you. That is very helpful. To Lisa, she said, Crystal, okay, that's for the others. I'm still on drop spindles. Brenda said it's a jack loom. Oh gosh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm thinking about how to do it on a jack loom. Do they all look without anything going through the heddle, so no warp on? Do they all look even before you like press a treadle? Do they all hang in the same place, if that makes sense? Eileen said, Jennifer, don't judge your yarn until you have soaked it first. That is very true. Rita said, laughing is better than crying. Jennifer said, thank you all so much. All these recommendations are incredibly helpful. Like, I've heard people say, sing, row, row, row your boat to yourself because it'll like slow your foot down. You can also switch to a larger whirl if you have one. That will slow your bobbin down. This is the same idea. Jerry said, for less twist, try counting with your feet. Instead of 1, 2, 1, 2 pedal, say 1 and 2, 1 and 2. That'll slow you down as well. Let's see. Lisa said, hey Eileen, how are you getting on with your nitty naughty? How are you getting on with your nitty naughty? Shanna said, I'm new to spinning on a wheel too and have been using a metronome. That would do the same thing to keep rhythm, and it has helped hugely. I have never even thought about using my metronome. I have 2 antique ones that John got me back when I was like, I'm going to start playing the piano again. Didn't really happen. It did a little bit, but there's only so much time, you know? Melody said, only 9 thumbs up. Please tap. You can still hear Trish while you do that. Frida said, yes, I tended to underspin and now try spin faster. And as I get more experience, I do better. I mean, if you need to go faster, that, you know, you can sing a different song or put a different music on, whatever. So that method will work to correct that, you know, either way. Jennifer said, it is drying right now. The first was worse than anticipated, and the second was better than expected. So you're making big, big progress already. Hey, Dion, how are you? How's your shoulder? Jennifer said, a metronome is genius. I should have gotten some water before I started today. Usually I have a drink right here. Elizabeth said, I don't count both feet. If it's a double treadle, I only count the right one. I also do that, although I've never thought about it before. I only count one foot. Julie said, I think there are metronome apps for smartphones. There are definitely, yes. What a good idea. And I can't believe I've never even thought about doing that. Yep, Anne said the same thing. There's a free app for your phone. Dion said, I'm still telling myself I'm going to try and play the piano. It's never too late, Dion. And I think as an adult, we understand there's like good things about learning it as an adult. Do you know what I mean? But I learned as a kid, and then I didn't have a piano for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, and we got one in our old house, and I was like, I'm gonna I'm gonna start playing again. And then I did not. I did a little bit. It's funny because my mom had to like force me to practice when I was a kid. But Dion, what's holding you back? Eileen said to Lisa, my nitty knotty skills are getting much better. I bought a kilo of yarn from a farmer on 2 cones to play with natural dyeing. Now skeins up skeins of 50 grams, lots of practice. There you go. Bree said me too, Dion. Hello, Anne. Hello from Belgium. I don't think we've had anyone Belgian here before. Lisa just said, can John get me a drink as well, please? He's working. He's finishing up a project, and it'll be a whole month, I think, before he before he has another outside work project. It'll be so wonderful. He did bring me. Were you listening?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't forget to hit like.
I thought you were working on your project.
It's just operating in the background.
Lisa would like one in Scotland also.
All right, my passport's up to date.
He said, all right, my passport's up to date. Hey, Kat. Oh, good. Dion says, slowly getting better, but I'm enjoying beautiful views on holiday. Nice. I forgot about your trip. Eileen said, oh, she's not speaking my language. I'm assuming it's, I don't know, Dutch? Looks like Dutch or German to me. Dutch? Belgium speaks like a couple different languages, right? Like French and German and maybe something else? I don't know. Shanna said, hands are bigger as an adult, makes that octave easier to reach. So much easier. That part would be awesome. Rita said, I took piano as a child, and when finally got one as an adult, had to go back to beginner level. I definitely had to step back a bit. Kat said, I've been dyeing yarn today, had loads of fun. Awesome, Kat. Did you post pictures? Because I need to see. I'm very nosy. Elizabeth said, he's such a good man. He is the best. He's the best. Melanie said, I don't think I have ever counted my treadles. I just set it on the largest whirl and went for it. Spun for the first year, just on the largest whirl to get the hang of it and different fibers. Oh, wait. Okay, I just messed up. There we go. I didn't count at first, but I did use like music to control, because I will like, oh, Flemish. Is that the other one? Thank you. Thank you so much, Jerup. I just use different music because my body will automatically adapt to the rhythms. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am totally like that. Cindy, hello. She said, been following along. I love the big pink thermos cup. Thank you. It stays cold like all day. It's really nice. Anne said, I want to learn to dye a card. I'm thinking it means card and spin yarn. I love your lives. Welcome. Thank you. I've heard before that in certain parts of Europe, it's harder to get a hold of the products for dyeing and stuff. Is that true? Some of you guys that are across the pond maybe can answer. Europe is really, really across the pond. I know you're not in Europe, so Lisa said, yeah, Melanie, I've not plucked up the courage to go to a smaller whirl. I am using my smallest whirl, which is literally like this big, on my Kromsky right now for that camel down because it is so, so, so short. And it's actually going great. Carla said, hello, sweet Trish and Fiber Tribe. I almost missed you all. I was out walking on a beautiful day. Hope everyone is doing well. It is beautiful here too, Carla. I'm glad you were getting out and getting some nature. We call it nature. Don't ask. Anne said, yes, Dutch, French, and German languages. Okay. In Belgium. Brenda said, all of the shafts are even until I press the treadles. It is not warped. So, okay. It could be something between, I can't remember. Does jack looms go down, right? I always mess this up. Whatever is not your tie-ups, but between the mechanism that pulls your shaft either up or down, doesn't really matter, and the, sorry, my brain. Because there's usually like a mechanism that'll pull it down or pull it up. Does that make sense? Somewhere in there could be off. I wish my loom was right here. I could show you what I'm trying to say. Dion said my body does the same. I don't mean to, but it just happens. Carla said that is one sweet good job. He is so, he takes care of me, man. It's hard to do too. Because I am a mess. Carla said, I will watch replay to catch up, knitting on a baby blanket while listening. Oh, Mel said, same here with the music, Trish. Make sure I'm not listening to ska or Irish drinking songs so fast. Yes. I mean, yeah. Victoria said, DHG in Italy has natural dyes for sale. Okay, so there are some places. Dawn said, John, we love you for taking care of Trish. You do such a great job of it. It's really hard work. My light just flickered. Kat said, we'll defo get you some pictures. Don't worry. Thank you. Oh, and she said, it's my nephew's first birthday on Friday already. No! What? Lisa said, Wingham in the UK sell landscape dyes, which I think are from Australia. Okay. Okay, this is gonna just drive me nuts, this yarn. Carla said, oh yes, I needed a good dose of natural vitamin D. That's why I sat outside. It's really, really beautiful here today, but I actually just sat outside spinning for like 2 hours and just, Luther was in my lap, and I was thinking, you need to get your vitamin D. The days are getting shorter here already. Oh, good. Chris, thank you. Okay, wait, let me get to this. Eileen said, now I have the image of spinning on ska music in my mind. Can you imagine? Or like Dropkick Murphys. Jerup said, Lisa, landscape are great dyes, and yes, Australian. Chris said, the parts of the back loom that raise the shafts are the jacks. If you have a counterbalance loom, they are called lambs. Okay. So there's always a point, well, on my loom, both of the top on the top of the shaft, both sides are lifted, and then they come together in one spot. So what I'm saying is, between where they come together to lift and where they are actually like tied to your treadles or connected to your treadles, try and see if there's slack somewhere, if that makes sense. Elizabeth asked, Speaking of Luther, has he forgiven you for loving on the grand dog last week? He has been weird since Gus passed away. And not as lovey as normal. He got a haircut yesterday. I don't know. He has been different. But I know that dogs grieve too, so, you know. Thank you, Chris. Chris said counterbalance or counter marsh looms pull shafts down. Okay, thank you. So, does that mean mine's a jack loom because it pulls up? I don't know. Lisa Stone said, fun, fun, fun. Hi, I'm the one watching your videos and liking them from 2 to 3 years ago. Thanks, Lisa. She said, love seeing how things can be done, real life stuff. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Carla said, good job, Trish. I'm sure Luther needed his dose too. Yeah, he was on my lap, and then he was like laying in another chair just sleeping, which he doesn't really like lay outside to sleep that often. Mel said, yep, dropkick Murphy spinning for when you want yarn and cardio at the same time. Oh, Lisa said, oh, Lisa, that's much cuter. She said, Trish, the expression we use here is that the nights are fairly drawing in, except it's heavy with accent, fair drawn. I can't say. And John's can do it. I cannot. Fair drawn in. We want to go to Scotland and Ireland so bad someday. Someday maybe I'll get to meet you, Lisa. Rita said, we've been dealing with ragweed down here. Woke up with a sinus headache. Yes, it's been bad here. My eyes are like in pain and itchy. Yeah, Eileen said Luther's grieving, Trish. He probably doesn't understand where his big brother went. And I don't know if having another dog here at the time was like the best thing. I mean, that dog he's easy to take care of. He's like, and he's really sweet. But I don't think it maybe was the best for Luther's. It was almost like he was annoyed. And he usually isn't like that with other dogs. It was weird. But yeah, he's sad. Gus had a favorite spot in the backyard, and like Luther went out and checked it multiple times a day at first. He stopped checking, but I still don't think I don't know, maybe he forgot. Maybe they live in the moment more than we do. I know they grieve, you know. Thanks, Dion. Thank you. Carolyn said, finally finished washing the fleece and it's hanging to dry. Need to jump off here and head to my grandson's first birthday party. Congratulations. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Have fun, Carolyn. Yeah, Mel, I didn't really think about that either. She said changes to the pack hierarchy are so hard on our fur balls. I feel like that might be affecting him even more, you know? Just that it feels like abnormal, if that makes sense. Kat said, oh, poor Luther, it does take time. Annie still isn't fully herself. Okay, that kind of helps, I guess. Can you get Star of Bethlehem herbal dry? I don't know. I will look. From the same range as Rescue. I'll look. Elizabeth said, Annie, I have some of that, so I think yes. Okay, I will look for those. Gosh. I've got to write that down or I'll forget for sure. But look at me with a notebook right here. Okay, so, and that like calms them down. What does it do? Someone help me. This poor dog. He's pretty calm. Okay, I wrote it down. Lisa said, I hope so, Trish. Yeah, thank you. I would never have imagined that this would hit me so hard, honestly. We are still definitely like, we are talking about it. Part of it was how dramatic everything was and how quick and out of the blue it was and everything, but like I would never have guessed that it would be this bad. It is bad. Kat said, oh, that's good, Elizabeth. Okay, Star of Bethlehem then, Trish, just pop some in his drinking water. It should help him process. Okay. Eileen said, have you ever seen Bunny the Talking Dog? I have seen her. Um, she's got a brother now, right? Or is it a sister? She said a year after their cat vanished, she was still asking where the cat went. I didn't know that. I've considered getting those buttons, but I can't figure out where I would put them. Where they would be like, kind of out of the way. I've thought about getting them. I feel like he would talk to me if he could. I mean, not that they talk, but Yeah, Lisa said, wow, Eileen, really? Chris said the jacks on a back loom are normally a scissor. Okay, I don't have that. They're tied up underneath the shafts to push up. It sounds like yours might be a sort of a hybrid, not true jacks or lambs, but they are tied from the top. Mine are tied at the top. They go around some like pulleys, and then they are connected to the treadles with like a rod at the bottom. Does that make sense? Brenda said Toshka has changed since we had to say goodbye to Audi. So those must be your dogs, Brenda. I am a little afraid that he's never going to be okay. Because he is different, for sure. I've been trying not to leave him alone because, like, in his whole life, oh God, you guys, I'm sorry if I cry. In his whole life, he has never been alone. Even if me and John leave, he's always had his brother right there. You know what I mean? And they didn't know that they were, like, not brothers. So, Elizabeth said, Star of Bethlehem helps with grieving. I used it myself during my divorce, and it did make me weep here at first because I needed to do that, and then it started helping me. Okay. I will look for some. Eileen said, very addictive to see that dog and her little brother be able to express. I loved watching. I got Bunny on TikTok. Rita said I had to put my dog down. He was my late husband's dog, and it was the hardest thing. Still miss him. And Storm was. Kat said it will support him while he processes it. It's good for you too if you need it. We still can't really talk about Dexter. It's too painful, and Annie definitely picks up what we're putting out. Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it. That he can just tell, Eileen said, oh, Rita, that must have been so hard. It must have. Okay, Chris said, yep, I have one that is exactly the same. Okay, so so it works like a jack loom, but it doesn't have the same mechanisms. That's what you're telling me, right? Shanna said, we've just moved, and I asked Hubs to put bells on the door for our terrier, Brunhild, to let us know she's hungry or needs out. He got a button that says no. Bless. I have a friend whose dog rings a bell. Mel said, pretty sure if my dog had opposable thumbs, she would rule the world. Also, if she had buttons, she would only use the treat button. Louie's not really food motivated. I'm not sure what hi. You want to show him your haircut? Nico asked, will you get him a friend? When we're ready, we will. Because I really don't want him to be alone. Oh, excuse me, sir. So, but eventually we will. We've talked about not being ready, but also that we will rescue, and probably we'll do like a middle age to senior because they're so hard to place. And John said he really likes the idea of giving like a senior, harder to adopt dog a happy home, for the rest of their years, if that makes sense. Okay. Margarita said, I didn't think I had to give explicit instructions to my son when it comes to washing a comforter, but apparently he needs to be taught that you must remove the... Oh no. The dog peeled off the comforter before you. Definitely. Do you have to throw it away? Oh man. Eileen said, all you can do is love him. Trish, he will get over it, I'm sure. He's just not himself. It's really crazy. And I don't really know what else to do except for just, be adjust to what is normal now for us. I was going to say be normal, but it's really not. Kat said also putting ginger oil in your diffuser. Okay, diffuser will help settle him if he's not settling. He's pretty much settling, I would say. Okay, so Brenda said yes. Audi was it's German Shepherd, right? We lost the end of May. Tashka is a GSD as well, and they were a very bonded pair. Okay. Doesn't that breed bond really, really tightly too? Rita said, Margarita, make him wash it again. Shanna said, please don't apologize to Grieve Trish. He will be okay and will become loving and playful again. Just like people, they process in their own way. It won't ever be okay, but it will be a new happy. Thanks. Sorry. Kat said, Elizabeth, glad it helped you. Sorry about your divorce. I'm sure that Star of Bethlehem, I hope it's better than what I tried to take during my divorce many years ago, because that was not good for me. Elizabeth said his haircut looks great. It actually does not. There is like a couple of little tufts up around it that I need to get to, but I'm really just not worried about it. Elizabeth said to Kat, it was hard to see it at the time, but it did me a favor. I'm much happier and healthier now. I'm so glad to hear that. It is hard to go through, but so many things that we need to do for ourselves are hard, I feel that way too. Like, it was hard to go through, but I don't even know where I would be if I hadn't gone through it. I can't imagine where I would be right now if I was still in that situation. Oh, Andy said my dog, she meant must not identify Luther as a dog because he will attack the TV. So he didn't even know what he was. Lisa said they say a new dog or cat can pick up on sadness and they take the role of being in charge to everyone in the house. I think we need to wait until we're really ready. And we're not, for sure. Definitely not. I'll tell you guys more about it next time, but Carla said, yes, that's a great idea from John. I think that's what we're going to do. I do think that's probably right for us at this stage. Kim said, I put my kitty down of 20 years in August. It's been tough. At some point, I plan to foster hospice dogs and kitties when I retire and have the time to spend with them. Oh, Kim, that takes such a special heart to do. I'm so sorry about your cat. Yeah. It's been interesting because I follow a rescue that's local and I have for a really long time, thinking that I want to volunteer there, but being afraid to volunteer there because I'm afraid I'll take 100 dogs home. And there's a dog right now that needs a foster that will take care of it after a surgery. And it's like, I feel this pressure to adopt a dog that needs a home or do something like that, but I also do not feel better. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel ready, I should say. I don't feel ready, but I also feel a lot of pressure, internal pressure, like Margarita said her son has conveniently left the house. Isn't that always the way? Rita said it takes time, Trish. You will look back on him fondly. I am already. But also, Julie said I had a similar situation. We brought dog Vivi as a puppy into house with our old Charlie. It took a year for Vivi to figure it all out because partly Charlie was in charge. I mean, Louis was the boss of the house. And he still is. Julie said Luther has to figure out the new shape of the pack right along with you. Chris. Thanks, Chris. But you don't have to worry. Like, we're okay. Bye, Jerry. Julie said they are way more like us than different. Rita said, so what do y'all think of King Charles? Oh, I want to hear this. Kat said I really didn't cope very well in the early days when people asked if I was going to get another dog. It felt like, I understand that. It felt like someone asking if I was replacing a lost handbag. I try not to ask that question now. I understand what you're saying, but I also understand that people, have that question. And I get it because we love our dogs so much and we spoil them. And I also am worried that Luther is going to be lonely when we're not here. Um, so I think that's probably where the question comes from the most in our house is people ask that question because they're like, Luther will be less alone if we do that, which is probably actually true. So Chris asked, what size yarn do I like to weave kitchen towels? I like 8-2. Let me tell you, Chris, it's complicated. Probably Shannon's going to laugh because I asked her some questions about this recently. I like 8-2. I like it in a 12 dent heddle doubled. Rita's not impressed with King Charles, let me tell you that. And then single as the weft. Or I like it 20 ends per inch with a regular weave, tabby, or if it's going to be a twill, it needs to be more like 24 or 25, I'm finding out. You guys are so funny. Shanna said, subject change. Is anyone familiar with Life in the Long Grass? I'm using it for the shawlography. It's huge, but the yarn is wavering between lace and heavy fingering. Is this normal? Did I read that right? Life in the Long Grass. Elizabeth said, I'm considering working with a rescue once I have a fence in my backyard, but I know I will want to take them all, which is not reasonable to actually do. That's where I am, Elizabeth, 100%. Lisa said, Charles has proven himself to have amazing values as a prince. I have ever confidence he will be just as great a king. That's wonderful. I know he hasn't had much time yet, honestly, but he's also trained his whole life, right? Tracy said, I just made the connection that King Charles lives in the home where he was born. Was he born there? Rita said, I guess I'm still smarting. Oh, wow. Over how he treated Di. Rita. It's a long time ago. And I'm sure he's a different person now, right? Alice said, has anyone had time to form a real opinion of Charles? Seems way too soon to make a decision. Then again, I didn't follow him before, so I don't know. Tracy said, I agree, Rita, me too. Do you need help? Do you want to get down? Come here. I'll help you. Come here. Okay. There you go. Sorry, he needed to get down. Okay, Lisa's gotta go. Bye. She said, not sure about Charles in the shadow. He was told off several times for taking too strong a position. Oh, wow. Robin said, ever since I heard about Louis, I've been hugging Karma even tighter than usual. I know I'll lose her someday. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Petrified of it. Don't be scared of it. Enjoy every single day you get, because being scared of it only messes up the time you have now. It's not going to make it any easier. So I know it's hard to push it away, but enjoy your time. Carla said, Shanna, yes, I use Life in the Long Grass, and I absolutely agree with you. Okay, good. Ian said, yes, Rita, I feel like the whole monarchy system took advantage of Diana's innocence. Oh, wow. Faraday said the colors of Life in the Long Grass were gorgeous. They were already sold out by the time I looked. I agree, Crystal. Crystal said 80 degrees yesterday was cooler than 80 degrees in midsummer. I don't get it, but I think it's true. Oh, don't worry, Alice. Alice said, sorry, not participating much. Don't even worry about it. Chris said, yeah, that sounds about right. For twill, you need a higher EPI. I've started using 10-2 at 24 in a 12 dent reed. That sounds nice. For a regular plain weave. Because a 10-2 would be a little skinnier, right? I'm going to defer to the people who live in the UK on the Charles topic because I'll be honest, being a person that lives in this country where politics here are discussed all around the world, sometimes I feel like, I don't know, opinions should come from the people who actually live there. Let's say it that way. Kat said, I think Charles will do okay. He's not great at biting his tongue, though. He has been a tad politically outspoken, and I don't know if he will be able to as king. Interesting. Robin said, I definitely do enjoy my time. I think having pets when you are little, that inevitably leaves us. Yeah. Yes, helps us deal with grief in general. I don't know if it does or not. Really don't. Alice said, hoping you and John and Luther and fam find your way through this. We are. I mean, we are doing it. We are. I also don't want to make it, I don't know, more than it is, whatever. But it's like I lost a person in my family. Like, we hung out every day, every single day. Dee said, I think Simply Socks in Indiana had life in the long grass. Kat said, as for the die thing, I have little patience for cheaters too, but it was different times and she was no angel. He should never have been forced into marrying her. I mean, that's probably part of the problem. We were talking about that literally like 2 or 3 days ago. I'm like, can you imagine being in a marriage that is arranged by your families and then like being in love with someone else? I don't know if it was before or after, but still, I cannot imagine what that would be like. Rita said I did a twirl on my hand towels and used worsted cotton. I saw your hand towels, Rita. They were amazing, and I love it. Do you love them? Chris said, yes, it seems to make a thinner towel, and 24 ends per inch allows me to do either twill or plain weave. Okay. Interesting. Bye, Dion. She said, see you guys next week. Alice said, don't rush yourselves, Trish. We're not. Loss of a loved one is never easy, no. Robin said Charles is really passionate on environmental issues. Hey, we're Carolians. How in the world do you say that? Not proper Charlies. Carolians? Carolians? D said, yeah. Honestly, D, I was raised that way as well. So I get you. But this is what's going on in the world right now. Wait a minute. I definitely missed something. Oh, okay. Never mind. I just had to back up and see what I was missing. Okay. We were Elizabethans. Now we are Carolians. I don't know how to pronounce it. Robin said it's Latin. Okay. Alice said, not gonna dump hating the company I work for on you though. That's boring. Oh. Carla said, so I keep hearing the little voices saying, just buy a loom and start looming like Trish. Looming. Oh, I like it. Rita said, how about we talk about in-laws? Faraday said, I'm going to dye Nomad Sand Dune base for the knit along. I am going to defer to some of Trish's dye videos for color inspiration, thinking dark purple, Light peach with a soft red pop. Interesting. So, wait, who's knit along? Is this who's knit along? Stephen West? Dee said to Shanna, I am hoping my order gets here before the mystery knit along, a bit worried. Nico said, I bought one loom and now I have 3. We were literally talking about another loom today, and I said, I don't have room. It can't happen right now. I just don't have space. Kat said, oh, I see what Robin is trying to say. I had no idea, and I'm in the UK. Bye, Chris. He said, everyone be safe. Trish, we love you. Keep up the good work. Bye, everyone. I appreciate that. Thanks. I love you guys, too. I do. Westnitz, yes. Okay. Shanna said, I went straight from buying the loom to turning around and buying the wheel. Omelet avalanche. Okay. One of us just bought them together. That's right. Rita said, Nico, just slide that slope. Just hop on your sled and shoom. Robin said, I'm just finishing the pockets on my lacy shorts. They will be finished just in time for winter. That sounds like me. Nico said, I have 4 wheels now, too. You get it. I get it. Shanna said, yes, Stephen West for this year. Cast on is October 6th. After we talked about it last week, I had a moment where I was like, maybe I do want to like do one of these knit-alongs, but I think I'm going to wait. Carla, that's what I thought of right away. She said, can you tell I just watched your previous video when you purchased your loom and the lady at the bank asking about your purchase? Because she was like, oh, what's the cash for? And I said, oh, I'm buying the loom. I never want to tell people because they have so many questions and they think I'm weird. But I just said, I'm buying a loom. And she was like, oh, what'll you be looming? Kat said, I haven't touched my looms in over a year. I guess I should rehome them to people that might give them more love. I'm definitely more about the spinning these days. Sometimes we go in cycles, Kat. Don't be too quick. Rita said, I agree. People couldn't believe I got along better with mother-in-law than my I actually, in 16 years, I had like one disagreement with my mother-in-law. And it ended with like, sorry, love you, bye. Sorry, love you, bye. You know what I mean? So Alice said, fun fact from the ex-in-laws, once you're in, you'll never get out. Elizabeth knew which video that meant. That was from too. Kat said, I almost signed up for the Westnitz knit along. Then I looked at all the Christmas sock yarn I just purchased. That's very restrained of you, Kat. I'm impressed. Kim said, own your weird. I know. I kind of have gotten better. But I also know that some people are just not going to get it. And it's okay to just not waste my weird on them. Eileen said, how do you pronounce it? She said, I'm a Carolian and an Alexandrian. When I came to the UK, I had 2 queens, Beatrix of the Netherlands and Elizabeth of the UK. Now I have 2 kings, King Charles and King Willem Alexander. Wilhelm is Willem. Carla said, you are not weird. That's true. If I'm here, I'm not weird. Because we're all weird in like the same way. Not all, but oh, Kat said Winnick Mom did some lovely patterns in conjunction with the West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas yarns and 100% drank that Kool-Aid and then bought last year's. Good for you. Dee said, I'm just finishing up the I-cord bind up from the Starflake from 2 years ago. Is that a stocking? Starflake. Rita said, no, we are all weird. We are. It's true, Elizabeth. I'll just waste my weird on her. I'll save it for you guys. Oh, that's right. Margarita said those that are not here are the weird ones. Kim said, I'm confident in my weirdness. It doesn't bother me what others think. I'm happy and pretty sure most people can't say that. I don't mind telling people, but sometimes I just don't feel like dealing with the questions. You know what I mean? People have so many questions. Faraday Farm said my mother-in-law started much like Everybody Loves Raymond, but 32 years later I would trade her for my bio mom in a heartbeat. That's really sweet. Does she know that? Alice said I haven't noticed any weird. I think that speaks for itself, doesn't it, Alice? All right. Tanya. She said I'm lurking in the background, not saying anything kind of weird. So I'll take all your weird any day. You guys are funny. Kim said I don't mind questions. I'm always looking for a new yarn friend since I have none that are local. Yes. Nico said, I get it. It's always difficult when the fabric cutters at Joann's ask what you are making. Is that because you're weaving rugs with the fabric, Nico? What are you making? I need to know. Elizabeth said, nobody ever asks me questions. They just say, oh, like that, right? And then change the subject or walk away. Cindy said about 20% through the last round of shawlography. Can't start a new Westnitz shawl this year. Well, are you going to finish it? Do you love it? Kat said, oh, neither of my mother-in-laws liked me. They were both fairly assertive women, as am I, so that didn't pan out so well. Deanna's working and listening. Last Sunday, my son called me, and because he had been at his cousin, like on my ex-husband's side, his cousin's wedding on Saturday, and he called me to tell me I was a topic of conversation and that my first mother-in-law loves me. I'm like, really? Because she never said that the whole time we were married, but cool. Cool. Elizabeth said, yes, exactly like that. I don't have to get you in that way. Like, it has happened to me. Oh. Of course, I've probably done that to people, too, when they talk about other stuff, so. Nico said 14th century dresses. Oh, for the Renaissance Festival. Okay, so period clothing. So you get it, though. Faraday Farm said I tell my physics students that they are now welcome on the island of lost toys, but it is okay because the rest of us understand. It's true. Oh, okay. Dee said Starflake was the West shawl. I remember now. From 2 years ago. True. Cindy said not love at this point, but determined to finish it. Maybe love again when finished. Oh gosh, you guys, we went way over today. I'm going to go because we have an errand to run, and then we're going to make pizza. I'm so ready for pizza. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you being here today. Always fun. Always a pick-me-up. So, I will see you guys later in the week. I hope you guys have a great one. There's a video coming Tuesday, so I love you. Bye.